welcome to the Spice Rack. I'm Shannon Spicer, and I want to add a little spice to your quilting. In my video today, I'll be putting together a log cabin block. The log cabin block is a definite classic that needs to be in everyone's repertoire. This is the second block in my Spicerack Sampler series. It's a series of 12 classic blocks with a modern spin. You can find a link to this pattern in the description below, and also a link to my Instagram account where you can share your work. Share your blocks with me using the hashtag SpicerackSampler. I didn't have as much space in last week's video, so I moved my camera back a little bit. If the angle is a little odd for you, just let me know in the comments below. I'm still figuring out exactly how I want to do these videos. For the log cabin block, it always starts with a center square, and then you piece your strips going around counterclockwise. Start here and go around, down, around, and you keep going and keep building until the block is as big as you'd like it to be. I'm putting a modern spin on this by just using two solid colors. I've got Motabella in mustard and Kona cotton in bone. And I'm going to create concentric squares with mine, whereas sometimes with the log cabin you can just build some dark color on one side and a light color on another for an interesting look, but I'm just going to do my gold around my center, and then cream around the gold, and then another gold or mustard on the outer. And I'm making this easy on myself. I cut my strips, and I'm not going to subcut them into various little pieces. I'm just going to take my strip, I'm going to line it up here with my block, and I'm going to sew along that side, and then I'm going to trim the excess off. And then I'll come along and do the same thing on that side, after pressing open of course, and keep building around until I use up my strip, and I might have a little left over. But this is a little bit of a time-saving feature. So now let's get started. I'm going to sew the first side. I keep a pair of shears right next to my sewing machine, so as I sewed that long strip on the side of the square, I just snipped it pretty close to the square before I pressed it open. I didn't want to do it exactly right up with the square because I wanted to make sure it lined up perfectly once it was open. And with a log cabin, there is a lot of pressing because you'll have to attach, press, and so on. So it is a lot of up and down and up and down. If you prefer, I really like this tool from Violet Craft. It's a seam roller, and it really rolls seams out pretty flat. So that might save you a little bit of time. I did that when I did the test block of this, and it worked out great. Now I'm just going to take my ruler, and I'm going to line up with my center square to trim off the excess on that perfectly. And now for the next side as we go counterclockwise around the block. So there's my second piece sewed on, and I will do the same thing. I will repeat and trim off the sides. And so on, round and round we go. And now we're ready to start on the cream square, Kona bone, outside of the gold or mustard. Now we are ready for the final square around, the final concentric square, which is back to gold, which is Motabella mustard. And our block is now complete. This was super easy. I think this was even easier than last week's block, which was the rail fence, which we did with strip piecing, which saves time, but then the pressing open of the seams is a little bit tedious. This one, even though I got up and down from the sewing machine to the iron and pressing open my seams, it really came together pretty quickly. I hope you join me for all 12 of these blocks in this series. I've designed them specifically to start out really easy, and then we will move up to some more challenging techniques, but I will hold your hand all the way through it and give you the tutorial videos so you'll be able to accomplish, and you'll have lots of different skills to add to your repertoire by the time we're done. And again, for the pattern for this block, you can click the link in the description below. I hope you join me next week when I introduce you to a wonderful classic block called the Squire Smith's Choice. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn the bell on to receive notifications of when I post videos, and you can sign up for my newsletter in the link in the description, and I'll send you an email when each block releases. And thank you for watching.